out there. This is David, and you have clicked on David's Gender Journey, Episode 5, Testosterone. What does it do and what does it not do? Um, I have been on testosterone for a bit more than 2 weeks right now, and ever since I started testosterone, I have kept getting questions, a lot of questions from people around me, like, what is testosterone actually, and what does it do to you, and what does it not do to you, and how quickly will those changes take place, and so on and so on. So that's why I'm making this little video to answer a few of those questions. So first of all, what is testosterone? We might all know that testosterone is the one principal sexual male hormone, and it's responsible for causing androgenization in male juveniles or in people who take testosterone as a hormone replacement therapy. Um, Testosterone actually can be produced by female bodies too, which might be a lesser known fact. But female bodies usually produce testosterone on very low levels, so these levels will not be sufficient to develop male characteristics like deeper voices, more hair growth, more muscle gain, and so on. And that's why female to male trans people actually need to apply testosterone to their bodies to develop these male characteristics. Now, how can testosterone be applied to the body? There are various methods with a number of pros and cons for each method. The most obvious method of application of testosterone is probably the oral application, so that would be taking a pill every day or every week or whatsoever. But the oral application of testosterone is very old-fashioned. It's rather outdated, and that's because taking a testosterone pill would actually cause a lot of stress to your system. In particular, it would cause very high liver values, and that's why this oral application method is really outdated. It's not prescribed anymore, very generally. There is an alternative to oral application, and that is injections. So those injections will not be done on a daily basis. They will be rather done on a 3 weeks or a 3 months basis, depending on the product that your doctor prescribed you. And if you're not afraid of needles and injections, you will get a testosterone injection in your muscular tissue, most likely in your lower back. And that creates a testosterone depot from which testosterone will be distributed to your body over that 3 week or 3 month period on a very constant level. That's quite useful because you don't need to see your doctor very often, and it creates quite steady levels of testosterone in your body. But for beginners of testosterone, like me, the injection depot method is not really the best one, and that's because once the testosterone is in your system for 3 months or 3 weeks, you cannot change the dose. And should you develop signs of an overdose or underdose of testosterone, you cannot change anything. The stuff is in your system, and you have to wait for 3 months or 3 weeks to change the dose. So for beginners, when you just don't know how your body will react to the testosterone, how much of the testosterone you actually need to reach a norm level, a male norm level, which you want to reach, you usually start with the third application method, which is the application on the skin with a gel. So the testosterone gel, comes in little sachets, and one sachet actually contains exactly one dose for a day. So you ideally apply this in the mornings. You just open the little sachet and take the gel in your hand, and then you distribute the gel over your upper arms or your belly or your legs, and then it's done. The stuff dries within less than 2 minutes, and it's quicker than actually brushing your teeth in the morning. So that's very easy to apply. The one thing is, if you travel, wherever you go, be sure to take enough of the little daily doses, the little sachets with you, so that you can't forget your testosterone. Yeah, that's all about application of testosterone. So let's talk about the effects of testosterone and the androgenization effects for female to males. The most important effects, and I'm not going to run through all the effects in detail. The most important effects are muscle gain, increased hair growth, including growth of facial hair, and the deepening of the voice. So let's look at the hair growth. Definitely you will develop, under testosterone, you will develop more hair on your legs, more hair on your arms, and on maybe on the chest. That very much depends on individual predisposition. And that's really something I already observe after only 2.5 weeks. I definitely have more hair on my legs, and I swear I have not seen these tiny little hairs which you can't see on the back of my hand. I swear these hair have not been there before T, so that's definitely something I already observe after a short period on T. With regard to facial hair, beard growth is definitely, at least for many trans men, is something very desired, but you never know what you get. And beard growth is one of the effects which actually take the longest time to develop. So we need a lot of patience there. And you never know what you get. To get an idea of what you might be able to get is to look at your closest male relatives. So look at your fathers, look at your brothers if you have any, look at your granddads on the male, on your father's side, on your mother's side. If they have some beard, it's a very good indication that you might be able to grow a beard after some time. And we're not talking about weeks or months, we're talking about years. And that's easy to understand, right? Male juveniles don't grow a beard, usually a full beard, at the age of 15. So it really takes some time and a couple of years to develop that. So I need to be more patient there. Although increased hair growth includes a growth of these fluffy hair in the face. And I have already shaved my face for the first time only last weekend because I looked so fluffy, but not very... not very sexy, looking like a bird chick. That's why I shaved myself for the first time. Yeah, I felt very grown up. One of the other effects is the deepening of the voice, and you might realize that my voice, I think, is a little bit lower than a couple of weeks ago. And sometimes my voice breaks when I speak, so it tends to stay away when I want to say something, or I suddenly speak a little higher and then low. So the voice needs to adapt, and it actually adapts at the moment, so that hopefully I will have a good chance to have a really deep voice, so a really male voice after a couple of months. And that's something I'm very much looking forward to. Other testosterone effects are muscle gain, actually whether you work out or not. And another effect which has to do with the muscle gain is a fat redistribution, so that the decreased body fat is actually redistributed, and that's especially redistributed from the thighs, where females usually store their fat, and what fat you have will go to the belly, so that's where men usually store their fat. And if you don't want to grow a beer belly, it's definitely recommendable to do some workout, which I already started. Besides the muscle gain and the hair growth and the deepening of the voice, there are a number of further effects, like staying away of the menstruation. And that's because once your body has been flooded with testosterone for some while, actually the ovaries tend to say, I don't think we're wanted here anymore, so let's bloody stop estrogen production. I don't think they want us. So that usually after a couple of months' time, probably the menstruation stays away. And it's very likely that it stays away forever. Of course, there's no guarantee that the menses stay away forever without removing the ovaries or the uterus. So that's another operation option, but it's not completely necessary to do that. Of course, the uterus and the ovaries, so your female reproduction organs, need to be closely observed, and you need to go to cancer checkups minimum once a year, but that's something you have to do anyway, whether you are male, whether you're female, whether you're FTM or whether you're MTF. You have to have your cancer checkups. That's for sure. Something that testosterone does not do is it doesn't make me grow. I will not grow in height. My bones will not grow anymore. So we will not become taller under testosterone. But what it does, and that has to do with the fat redistribution. It will very likely change the appearance of my face, and that will become edgier over time, and that's because of the redistribution of the fat in my face. And I might grow bigger feet, not because the feet are growing, but the feet are gaining muscles as well. So it's not uncommon to need larger shoes after some time, and I'm very curious how that will develop because I already have big feet, although I'm not very tall. I already have a 9. I already have a size 9, and if that grows to a 10 or 11, I'm really not that tall. Would be funny. But let's see how that develops. Now, another effect of testosterone is actually an effect on the libido. I've not experienced that so far, but many trans men actually report an increase of libido, and it also causes the growth of down there. So the down there area actually will grow in size, and so yes, something that does something to your sex life. And something that testosterone does not do, and that's something that I think many people assume, it doesn't turn you into something you haven't been before. Testosterone may cause changes in your attitude, but it does not change your aggression levels in general. I think I experienced something like that already. That means I tend to react quicker. So I react to emotions, or I might change my emotions more quickly than in the past. But so far, I have not experienced any aggression level which I have not known before. And of course, I have spoken to a lot of trans men, and I think none of them has really reported any significant increase in aggression, and that's because testosterone doesn't do anything or doesn't turn you into something you haven't been before. It might reveal some characteristics which you were not able, or you were reluctant to live to live to the outside, but it doesn't turn you into something which you haven't ever been. So I wouldn't be too afraid of turning into a macho monster or aggression monster or something like that. And to end this for today, I will show you a little comparison of my voice development over the last 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Bye.